The deep space research vessel Horizon drifted silently through the Kuiper Belt, its sensors probing the darkness between distant stars. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at her station, dark eyes fixed on the quantum resonance scanner as it painted patterns of energy across her display. 3 years into their mission to map gravitational anomalies in the outer solar system, they had found nothing extraordinary, until now. "Captain Reynolds," she called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I'm picking up something you need to see." Captain Michael Reynolds moved from his command chair to her station, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the displays. The scanner showed a clear signal, a repeating pattern too precise to be natural, too alien to be human. "A beacon," he said quietly. "How long has it been active?" "That's the thing, sir," Sarah replied, bringing up additional data. "Based on the decay signature, it's been broadcasting for at least 50,000 years, but it just activated when we passed within range." The bridge crew fell silent. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for generations, but in all their expansion through the solar system, they had found nothing but ruins and remnants of ancient civilizations. A live signal changed everything. "Plot an intercept course," Reynolds ordered, "and get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They'll want to know about this." Within hours, the Horizon had changed course to investigate the signal's source. What they found defied explanation. A perfectly smooth black sphere, roughly the size of a small car, floating in the void. No visible markings, no signs of propulsion or power source, just an endless darkness that seemed to drink in their spotlights. "Energy readings are off the charts," Sarah reported, her instruments struggling to make sense of the object. "It's generating some kind of quantum field I've never seen before." "Wait, something's changing." The sphere's surface rippled like water, and a beam of light shot out, scanning the horizon from bow to stern. Before anyone could react, a voice filled the bridge, not through their communication system, but directly in their minds. "Genetic profile confirmed. Species, human. Status, viable candidates. Initiating first contact protocol." The sphere began to transform, its surface flowing like liquid metal until it formed a shape that resembled a communications array. New data flooded the Horizon's computers, star charts, technical specifications, and warnings. Especially warnings. "Captain," Sarah called, her voice tense as she read the incoming data. "You need to see this. It's a message about something called the Voraxian Empire." As they read the message, the crew's excitement turned to dread. The beacon had been left by a species known as the Precursors, who had vanished millennia ago. They had been guardians of this sector of space, protecting younger races from a terrible threat. The Voraxians, a species that saw the galaxy as their hunting ground and other sentient races as prey. The Precursors' message was clear. The Voraxians would return, as they did every 50,000 years, to harvest new species that had risen to spacefaring capability. Earth's development had triggered the beacon's activation. Humanity had less than 6 months before the hunters arrived. But the Precursors hadn't just left a warning. The sphere contained something they called the Achilles Protocol, a means of defense they had developed but never had time to implement before their disappearance. The catch? It would require humanity to undergo changes that could not be undone. "Sir," Sarah said, looking up from her station, "we're being hailed by something in orbit around Neptune. The signal, it's not human." Reynolds straightened his uniform, put it on screen. The main display flickered to life, showing a being that looked like a cross between a praying mantis and a jungle cat. Its voice translated directly into their minds, just as the beacon had. "So," the creature said, mandibles clicking, "you found the warning. Good. We've been watching your kind develop, waiting to see if you would be worthy prey. Now we shall see if you are worthy of something else entirely." "We're not prey," Reynolds replied firmly, "and we won't submit to any tests." The alien's multifaceted eyes gleamed. "You misunderstand, human. The test has already begun." The real question is, will you use the gift the precursors left you, knowing it will change your species forever? Or will you face us as you are, pure but doomed? You have 6 months to decide. Choose wisely. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in silence. Sarah looked at the sphere, still transmitting data about the Achilles protocol. Captain, what do we do? Reynolds stared at the star-filled view screen, his jaw set. We warn Earth. We prepare. And we learn everything we can about this protocol. Because one way or another, humanity's about to change forever. As the horizon turned back toward Earth, its computers still processing the vast amount of data from the beacon, no one noticed the small changes already beginning in their bodies, the first subtle effects of their proximity to the sphere. The Achilles protocol had already begun its work, preparing humanity for the greatest challenge in its history. The hunters were coming, and humanity would have to evolve or die. The underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains hummed with activity. Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a wall of holographic displays, each showing different aspects of the Achilles protocol's data. 1 month had passed since the Horizon's return to Earth, 1 month of feverish preparation and startling discoveries. The genetic modifications are unprecedented, she explained to the assembled military and scientific leadership. The precursors didn't just leave us weapons, they left us the means to transcend our current biological limitations. General Diana Martinez, newly appointed head of the Earth Defense Initiative, stepped closer to examine the displays. And you're certain these changes are already happening to the Horizon's crew? Sarah nodded, pulling up medical scans. Our exposure to the sphere initiated a cascade of subtle genetic alterations, enhanced neural plasticity, improved cellular regeneration, and something else, a kind of quantum entanglement at the cellular level. We're still trying to understand the full implications. What we understand, Captain Reynolds interjected from his seat, is that it's making us stronger, faster, smarter. He stood, moving with a fluid grace that seemed almost inhuman. And it's accelerating. The changes in the Horizon's crew had been impossible to hide. Their reflexes had sharpened beyond human norms, their minds processed information with computer-like speed, and their bodies had begun developing abilities that defied conventional physics. They were becoming something new, something that might stand a chance against the Voraxians. The real breakthrough came yesterday. Sarah continued, bringing up new data. We finally decoded the weapon schematics hidden within the protocol. The precursors didn't just plan to enhance our bodies. They designed an entirely new class of weapons that interface directly with our evolved physiology. The display showed complex blueprints for devices that seemed to blur the line between technology and biology. Weapons that could tap into the quantum entanglement now developing in their cells, allowing for impossible feats of coordination and power. Production has already begun, General Martinez announced. But we need more than weapons. We need soldiers who can use them. Dr. Chen, how quickly can we implement the protocol on a larger scale? Before Sarah could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. A junior officer burst into the room. Multiple contacts detected entering the solar system. They're not Voraxian signatures, different configuration, but definitely alien. Show me, Martins ordered. The displays shifted to show a dozen sleek vessels approaching from beyond Neptune's orbit. Their design was organic, almost predatory. Scouts, Reynolds said grimly. The hunters sending their hounds ahead to test our defenses. Then let's give them something to report back, Martins replied. Captain Reynolds, is your crew combat ready? Reynolds smiled, a fierce light in his eyes. We've been training with the prototype weapons. Time to see what they can do. Within hours, the Horizon had been retrofitted with newly manufactured precursor weapons. Its crew, their bodies already changed by the protocol, moved with supernatural coordination as they prepared for battle. Sarah found Reynolds in the ship's armory, examining one of the new rifles. The weapons are quantum locked to our genetic signatures, she explained. No one else can use them. And there's something else. She hesitated. The more we use them, the faster our evolution progresses. Good, Reynolds said, checking his tactical display. Because our visitors have changed course. They're heading straight for us. The Horizon intercepted the alien scouts near Mars orbit. The enemy vessels were fast and heavily armed, but they weren't prepared for what humanity had become. Reynolds and his crew moved as one, their thoughts linked through their weapons' neural interfaces. The precursor technology responded to their enhanced biology, allowing them to predict and counter every enemy maneuver. The battle was brief but spectacular. 3 alien ships destroyed, the rest retreating in disarray. But the victory came with a revelation that chilled Sarah to her bone. "Captain," she called from her station, "I've analyzed their weapon signatures. These weren't just scouts. They were testing us, specifically testing for signs of the protocol." They knew, Reynolds realized. The Varaxians knew what the precursors left us, which means they've seen it before. Martinez added via comlink. Somewhere out there, another species tried to use the protocol against them. As the Horizon returned to Earth, Sarah studied the data from the battle. The alien weapons had left trace particles in space, particles that resonated with their own enhanced biology. The implications were staggering. "The Varaxians aren't just hunters," she whispered. "They're collectors. They take the strongest traits from every species they defeat, incorporating them into their own genome." Reynolds joined her at her station. "Then we better make sure we're stronger than anything they've faced before. How soon can we begin mass implementation of the protocol?" Sarah brought up the latest test results. "The exposure chamber is ready. We can start processing military volunteers immediately." "But sir," she met his gaze, "once we do this, there's no going back. Humanity will never be the same." "Humanity was never meant to stay the same," Reynolds replied. "We either evolve or we die. And I don't plan on dying." As if in response to his words, the precursor weapons pulsed with inner light, resonating with the changed DNA of their wielders. The hidden arsenal was awakening, and with it, humanity's chance for survival. But as Sarah watched the volunteers line up for transformation, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something vital about the protocol's true purpose. The hunters had sent their scouts. Next time, they would send warriors, and humanity had 5 months left to become something strong enough to survive what was coming. 3 months before the Varaxian arrival, Earth had become unrecognizable. Cities gleamed with newly constructed defense installations, their designs an impossible fusion of human ingenuity and precursor technology. But the most dramatic changes weren't visible to the naked eye. They were in humanity itself. Sarah Chen watched from her laboratory as another group of transformed soldiers trained in the massive underground arena. Their movements were blindingly fast, their bodies surrounded by flickering fields of quantum energy. The Achilles protocol had changed more than their genetics. It had awakened something that had been dormant in human DNA for millennia. "Their neural synchronization rates are off the charts," she muttered, studying the readings. "Each generation of transformations is stronger than the last." "That's what worries me," Captain Reynolds said, joining her at the observation window. His own transformation had progressed further than most, his eyes now containing swirling patterns of light. "We're changing too fast, without understanding what we're becoming." Before Sarah could respond, General Martinez strode into the lab, her face grim. "We've got trouble. Our deep space arrays just picked up a massive energy surge from the direction of the Kuiper Belt. Something big is coming through." The main display activated, showing a tear in space itself. From the rift emerged a vessel that dwarfed anything humanity had ever built, a Varaxian battle cruiser. Its hull seemed to writhe with living metal, covered in weapons that incorporated biological components. "They're early," Reynolds growled. "This is another test." "No," Sarah said, her enhanced mind processing the sensor data. "This is different. Look at the energy readings from their ship. They're using technology similar to the protocol. They've adapted since our last encounter." Martinez activated the global defense network with a thought, her neural implants connecting directly to Earth's command systems. All protocol-enhanced units, battle stations. This is not a drill. The response was immediate and coordinated. Across the planet, transformed soldiers moved with perfect synchronization, manning weapons platforms and defense installations. The Horizon, now upgraded with full precursor technology, led a fleet of similarly enhanced vessels out to meet the threat. But the Varaxians had planned for this. As their battle cruiser approached Earth orbit, it began to change shape, splitting into smaller vessels that each exhibited different capabilities. Some moved with impossible speed, others projected shields that bent light itself, and still others launched weapons that seemed to ignore conventional physics. They're showing us what they've learned from other species, Sarah realized, analyzing the battle data. Each ship represents a different race they've hunted and absorbed. The battle that followed pushed humanity's newfound abilities to their limits. Protocol-enhanced pilots engaged in dogfights that broke the laws of physics, their neural links allowing them to react faster than thought. Ground-based weapons fired bursts of quantum energy that could rewrite local spacetime. Reynolds commanded the Horizon through the chaos, its crew moving with perfect coordination. But even with their enhanced capabilities, they were being pushed back. The Varaxians' experience with absorbed technologies gave them an edge. "We need something they haven't seen before," Reynolds said over the neural link. "Dr. Chen, you said each generation of the protocol produces stronger changes. What happens if we push it further?" Sarah's fingers flew over her console as she accessed the deepest layers of the protocol's data. "There's something here, a final stage the precursors theorized but never implemented. It would link all transformed humans into a single quantum network, allowing for perfect coordination and shared consciousness." "The risks?" Martins asked, though they all knew it didn't matter. They were out of options. "Unknown," Sarah admitted. "But whatever happens, it would make us into something entirely new. Something beyond what the precursors intended, beyond what the Varaxians could predict." Reynolds made the decision. "Do it." Sarah activated the final stage of the protocol. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, every transformed human on Earth felt it. A connection deeper than thought, beyond consciousness. They became aware of each other as parts of a greater whole, their enhanced abilities combining and multiplying. The effect on the battle was immediate. Earth's defenders no longer needed to communicate or coordinate. They simply acted as one. The Horizon's crew fought with the precision of a single organism. Ground-based weapons fired in perfect sequence, creating overlapping fields of quantum disruption that trapped and destroyed Varaxian vessels. But the true surprise came from the transformed humans themselves. The deeper connection revealed something the precursors had hidden in the protocol: the ability to manipulate quantum fields directly, without technology. Earth's defenders began generating shields and weapons from pure energy, their combined consciousness allowing them to rewrite local reality itself. The Varaxian battle cruiser, for the first time in its long history of hunting, began to retreat. But before it could escape, Reynolds linked with Sarah and Martinez, their enhanced minds working together to understand what they were seeing. "Their ship," Sarah said through the link. "The biological components. They're not just trophies from other species. They're trying to preserve something." Martinez's tactical analysis merged with Sarah's scientific insight, creating a new understanding. The Varaxians aren't just hunters. They're archivists in their own twisted way. Each species they absorb, they keep a part of it alive within themselves. "Then let's show them something worth preserving," Reynolds thought. And through the quantum network, every transformed human understood the plan. The battle ended not with the Varaxian ship's destruction, but with a demonstration of humanity's new potential. The combined consciousness of Earth's defenders reached out across space itself, showing the hunters what they had become, not just another species to be hunted and absorbed, but something entirely new in the galaxy. As the Varaxian vessel disappeared back through its spatial rift, Sarah realized that humanity had crossed a line. They were no longer simply using the precursor's technology. They had transcended it. 2 months left, Martine said, her voice carrying new harmonics from their shared evolution. And now they know what we can really do. No, Sarah replied, studying the data from their transformation. Now they know what we're beginning to do. The protocol. I don't think this is its final form. We're still changing. Reynolds looked out at Earth, seeing it with new eyes through their shared consciousness. Then let's make sure we change into something strong enough to survive what's coming. The transformed humans could feel it. They stood on the edge of an evolution that would reshape not just their species, but their understanding of what was possible. The question was, would it be enough when the full Voraxian fleet arrived? 1 month remained until the Voraxian fleet's arrival, and Sarah Chen couldn't sleep. Through the quantum network linking Earth's transformed defenders, she could feel the constant evolution of their shared consciousness. But something else nagged at her enhanced mind. A pattern in the protocol's code she had originally missed. She stood in her laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, surrounded by holographic displays showing the original precursor data. Captain Reynolds and General Martinez joined her, their enhanced bodies casting subtle quantum distortions in the air. "Look at this," Sarah said, manipulating the displays with thought alone. "The protocol isn't just changing us. It's searching for something in our genetic code. Something the precursors left behind long before recorded history." Reynolds studied the data through their shared consciousness. "You're saying they modified our ancestors. Why?" Before Sarah could answer, every quantum-linked human on Earth felt a sudden shift in their awareness. A new presence touched their shared consciousness. Alien, yet somehow familiar. The holographic displays flickered, then reformed into a new configuration. "Because you were always meant to be more than what you are," a voice said, both in their minds and through the facility's speakers. The voice had the same harmonics as the precursor beacon, but deeper, more complex. Martinez's tactical awareness flared. Security breach. How did they access our systems? "They didn't," Sarah whispered, understanding flooding through her enhanced perception. "This was encoded in the protocol itself, waiting to activate once we reached this stage of evolution." The holographic displays showed a new image, Earth, as it had been 50,000 years ago. They watched as the precursors, their true forms hidden in shells of engineered matter, seeded the planet with modified genetic material. "Your species was our greatest experiment," the voice continued. "We saw in your primitive ancestors a potential that exceeded even our own. But you needed time to develop naturally, to maintain your greatest strength, your adaptability." "The Voraxians," Reynolds said. "You knew they would return. This was all preparation for them." "Yes and no," the voice replied. "The Voraxians are not what you believe them to be. Like us, they are guardians of a sort, though their methods differ. They do not merely hunt. They test, preserve, and shepherd the development of young species." Sarah's enhanced mind raced through the implications. The species they've absorbed, they're not trophies. They're being protected. In a manner of speaking, the Voraxians preserve the essential qualities of species they deem worthy, integrating them into their own collective consciousness. Those they find wanting are guided back to an earlier stage of development, given time to grow stronger. The revelation rippled through Earth's quantum network. Every transformed human felt the weight of this new understanding. They weren't just fighting for survival. They were being evaluated for their potential to become something greater. "But the protocol," Martinez interjected. "Why give us this power if we're just being tested?" "Because you have surpassed our expectations," the voice said. "The protocol was designed to awaken dormant potential. Yes, but you have taken it further than we ever imagined. You have not merely accepted these changes. You have mastered them, improved upon them, made them uniquely your own." New data flowed through their shared consciousness. The true nature of the quantum network they had created, the possibilities it represented. They saw how their transformation had already begun to influence the fabric of space-time itself. "The Voraxians are not your enemy," the voice continued. "They are the final test. How you face them will determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of this galaxy. For too long, both we and the Varaxians have guided younger species, preserving what we could, but never finding true equals. Sarah suddenly understood. You're dying out. Both you and the Varaxians. You're looking for successors. Yes, the burden of guardianship is heavy, and even species as advanced as ours cannot endure forever. We need species that can adapt, evolve, and most importantly, understand the responsibility of power. Through their link, every defender felt a new presence approaching. Massive ships emerging from quantum space near Jupiter. But these weren't Varaxian vessels. They were precursor ships, ancient and powerful beyond imagination. The final phase of your transformation begins, the voice said. You have 1 month to prepare. The Varaxians will come in force, not to destroy you, but to see if you can rise above mere survival. Show them what humanity has become. The precursor ships took up positions throughout the solar system, their technology far beyond even what the protocol had given humanity. But they did not intervene directly. Instead, they began transmitting new data, the full extent of their knowledge and capabilities. This is the true purpose of the Achilles Protocol, Sarah realized. Not just to help us survive, but to prepare us for a role we never imagined. Reynolds looked out at the transformed Earth, feeling the quantum network humming with new purpose. We're not just fighting for our survival anymore. We're fighting for our place among the stars. Martinez's tactical mind was already processing the new information, seeing possibilities that would have been unimaginable just months ago. Then let's make sure we're ready, not just to fight, but to prove ourselves worthy of what comes after. As the final month began, humanity stood at a turning point. They had become more than what the precursors had planned, more than what the Varaxians expected. Now they had to prove they could be what the galaxy needed, not just warriors or survivors, but true guardians of life's infinite potential. The quantum network pulsed with shared purpose as Earth's defenders prepared for their greatest test. Soon, they would face the full might of the Varaxian fleet. But now they understood. It wasn't just a battle for survival. It was an audition for a role of cosmic significance. And through their shared consciousness, they made a silent vow. They would show both the precursors and the Varaxians that humanity was ready not just to survive, but to lead. The day of reckoning arrived with a ripple of quantum distortions that shook the solar system. The Varaxian fleet emerged from fold space in perfect formation. Thousands of ships, each one a unique blend of technological and biological evolution. Earth's transformed defenders felt their arrival through the quantum network, their enhanced minds processing the sheer scale of what they faced. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the horizon. Her consciousness merged with both the ship's systems and the vast network of humanity's defenders. Captain Reynolds commanded from the central position, his transformed body radiating waves of quantum energy. Through their shared awareness, they could feel General Martinez coordinating Earth's defenses, the precursor ships watching silently from their positions throughout the system. They're broadcasting, Sarah announced, as a familiar presence touched their quantum network. The Varaxian consciousness was vast and ancient, a collective mind built from thousands of preserved species. Children of Earth, the Varaxian voice resonated through their shared awareness. You have evolved beyond our expectations, but now comes the true test. Show us what you have become. The battle began not with weapons, but with consciousness. The Varaxian fleet projected a field of quantum interference that threatened to disrupt humanity's neural network. But the transformed defenders had evolved beyond simple telepathic links. Their shared consciousness had become something new, a quantum field that existed in harmony with space-time itself. They're not just testing our strength, Sarah realized as she helped coordinate the defense. They're testing our understanding. Reynolds nodded, directing the horizon through impossible maneuvers as space itself seemed to bend around them. Then let's show them what we've learned. Earth's defenders responded with a demonstration of power that transcended conventional warfare. Protocol-enhanced humans generated fields of quantum energy that reshaped local spacetime. The Horizon led a fleet of ships that moved in perfect synchronization, their crews acting as one mind, one purpose. But the Varaxians were far from outmatched. Their ships began to adapt, incorporating aspects of humanity's quantum manipulations into their own capabilities. The battle evolved into a dance of consciousness and energy, each side learning and growing from the encounter. Through the quantum network, Sarah felt a new understanding emerge. This isn't about defeating them, she broadcast to all defenders. It's about proving we can match them, learn from them, grow beyond them. As if in response, the Varaxian fleet shifted formation. Their ships merged into larger configurations, displaying the full range of their absorbed technologies. They weren't just showing their power, they were offering knowledge, sharing the lessons learned from every species they had preserved. Martinez's tactical consciousness expanded to process this new information. They're opening themselves to us, showing us everything they've gathered across millennia. Because that's what true guardians do, Reynolds realized. They preserve, protect, and pass on what they've learned. The transformed defenders began to adapt their strategies, not just fighting the Varaxians, but engaging with them in a complex exchange of knowledge and capability. The quantum network expanded, touching the consciousness of their supposed enemies, finding not hostility, but a deep recognition. The precursor ships, still watching from their positions, began to pulse with energy. Their ancient consciousness joined the exchange, creating a three-way intersection of minds and possibilities. This is the real test, Sarah broadcasts through the network. Not our ability to fight, but our ability to understand, to grow, to become more than what we are. Through their shared awareness, humanity made a choice. Instead of trying to overpower the Varaxian fleet, they reached out with their quantum consciousness, offering their own unique perspective. Their adaptability, their creativity, their endless capacity for change. The response was immediate and profound. The Varaxian ships began to resonate with the same quantum frequency as humanity's defenders. The precursor vessels added their own harmony to the symphony of consciousness. In that moment of connection, the truth became clear. The galaxy didn't need new warriors or conquerors. It needed custodians who could bridge the gap between what was and what could be. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their potential for power, but their ability to change, to learn, to bring together different ways of being. The Varaxian consciousness spoke again, but now its voice carried new overtones of respect and recognition. You understand at last. The protocol was never about making you stronger. It was about helping you become who you truly are. The precursor presence added its own harmony. You have proved yourselves worthy not because of your power, but because of how you choose to use it. The quantum network pulsed with shared purpose as humanity realized their true role. They would not replace either the precursors or the Varaxians. They would join them, adding their unique perspective to the ancient duty of guiding and preserving life's infinite possibilities. The transformed defenders felt their consciousness expand further, touching the vast network of quantum energy that connected all things. They saw their place in the cosmic dance, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in the greatest mission of all, shepherding the growth and evolution of life itself. Sarah, Reynolds, and Martinez stood together on the Horizon's bridge, their enhanced forms radiating with the power of this new understanding. Through the view screen, they watched as the Varaxian fleet rearranged itself into a formation of peace rather than war. The precursor ships moved to join them, creating a vast circle around Earth. What happens now? Reynolds asked, though through their shared consciousness, they all knew the answer. Now, Sarah said, feeling the quantum network pulse with potential, we begin our real work. There are young species out there waiting to be guided, ancient knowledge waiting to be preserved, and infinite possibilities waiting to be explored. And we'll face it all together, Martins added, not just as humanity, but as part of something greater. The defenders of Earth had become more than warriors, more than guardians, more than even the precursors had imagined. They had become a bridge between what was and what could be. Their consciousness expanded to encompass not just their own evolution, but the evolution of life itself. As the three fleets moved in harmony through the solar system, humanity looked out at the vast expanse of space with new eyes. The Achilles Protocol had not just transformed their bodies or their minds, it had transformed their understanding of their place in the cosmos. The legacy of the stars was not a burden but a gift, passed from one generation of guardians to the next, and humanity would carry that legacy forward, not alone, but as part of a greater whole, preserving and protecting the infinite potential of life throughout the galaxy. The red dawn of war had become the bright morning of a new age, and humanity had found its true purpose among the stars.